Hi, I'm Mike Villar, and I'm recording a series of videos about my campaign for Allegan County Prosecutor. That election will be the primary election on August 6th of 2024. In this video, I'm going to talk about my opponent's relationship to law enforcement. When you are the prosecuting attorney, you have to have a solid relationship with the police officers that work with you on a day-to-day basis. When you do things that harm that relationship, it should be obvious that the less that police and prosecutors work together, the more difficult it is to obtain convictions and to keep us safe. And so I want to tell you a story about what happened recently in our county. There was an Allegan County deputy who was involved in a high-speed chase. During that chase, someone pulled out in front of the deputy. And unfortunately, there was an accident, and there was someone that was killed, and the other person was seriously injured. The state police are always called in to investigate that type of situation. So the state police came in and they did an investigation, and they found that the Allegan County Deputy had followed all the appropriate protocols. And so it was an accident, but it was not something that was based on his negligence, because he followed the protocols that you follow when you're in a high-speed chase. That report was submitted and forwarded to my opponent. Now, generally, if you are the county prosecutor and one of the issues is a county employee or a county deputy is being potentially charged with a crime, what you would usually do is recuse yourself. You'd say, I cannot decide this matter because no matter which way I do it, it'll look biased. So I can't not charge this person because it may look like I'm favoring him, and people would question that. So the mechanism that we have is that you would recuse yourself, and you would ask for a different county prosecutor from another county to come in, review the case, and take over the case. They could make the decision to prosecute or not to prosecute, and it wouldn't involve the county prosecutor whose deputy is being charged or potentially charged. So what happened in this case is my opponent decided to level charges against a deputy in the Allegan County Sheriff's Department. She also decided to use the Allegan County Sheriff's Department as witnesses against an Allegan County deputy. In fact, she used one of the Allegan County former deputies as an expert in that case to testify against the Allegan County deputy. Now, I watched large portions of the trial, and I watched as the Allegan County deputies who were called to testify against this young man had to testify that he followed all appropriate protocols. And then they attempted to get an expert to testify that somehow he was negligent because of that, and that didn't work very well. And so what happened is the jury found him not guilty very quickly. I think less than half an hour. He was found not guilty. What I'm concerned about is the long-term impact that has on the relationship between our current prosecutor and law enforcement. She has significantly damaged her relationship between the county prosecutor's office and local law enforcement. And now I think most of the people in the sheriff's department, I can't speak for all of them, but now they have some concern and some hesitancy. Does the Allegan County prosecutor have my back if I'm involved in a high-speed chase? Then the next question is, if I'm involved with it, if there has to be shooting involved, will I be charged? And that is not something that should be a part of the thought process of an Allegan County deputy or a Michigan State trooper when they're in Allegan County. They should know that the prosecutor in this county would have their back and would support them. So in a case like this, where this young man followed all appropriate procedures and protocols, where the state police came in and confirmed that he did not violate any policies, violate any procedures or any protocols, he did what police officers are trained to do. In a case like that, he should be able to have confidence that his own prosecuting attorney in his own county will not prosecute him or have any kind of vendetta against him. And I don't know what my opponent was thinking when she decided to charge a young man who did follow all the protocols, who was exonerated by the Michigan State Police. What did she think would happen? What did she think the impact would be on the Allegan County deputies and Michigan State troopers who patrol this county? It would have to be a negative impact. And I think it goes back to the incompetence I talked about in the previous videos, that this is part of the reason that she's only winning less than 20% of her district court trials. It's because she's making decisions that are not consistent with good prosecuting attorneys. I think it's important to understand that there's a difference in the role of a prosecutor and a defense attorney. A defense attorney has an obligation to his client. A prosecuting attorney has a different obligation. They have an obligation to the truth. And in part, they're the people that stand up for what is just and what is right in our society. And they have an obligation to look at a case and say, if I can't prove this beyond a reasonable doubt, I should not take this case to trial. So what happens when you're losing over 80% of your district court cases? Is there no one in the prosecutor's office who will step up and say, we shouldn't take this case to trial because we can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt? We can't do it, and therefore, justice would demand that we don't take this to trial. Instead, what's happening is people are taken to trial, and they're costing the county thousands of dollars, they're costing the defendant thousands of dollars on cases that are actually, they should never have been tried, as is evidenced by the fact they're losing 4 out of 5 of them. And what that causes is the police, the defendants, the entire system of justice starts to fail because the prosecuting attorney has lost their way.